Hello there and good day. We have tons of stuff that has come to Dragon City today. The main one, of course, being the new heroic race, which contains the High Heroic Dragon. And this guy is a primary element, primal, ice legend, and time dragon. But we will be going through how you can get your hands on this dragon and tips for the heroic race in a moment. You can see I'm currently on lap 4. Our competition has not moved as of yet, which is a good sign. But that can change very quickly. But we will go through that in a moment. On top of that, we also have the brand new Divine Pass, the Ascended. And now, this Divine Pass is interesting because, of course, it brings with it the new Heroic High Ascended Supreme Dragon, which, primary element of Dream, that's pretty good. And also, he has 2 different skills, which are another thing altogether. But he also has a skin which actually boosts his damage and also reduces the amount of turns that it takes for his skill to come up. So this dragon has a lot of stuff going on, but he is still an ascended dragon at the end of the day. But we've got this new pass and we have all of these new ascended insignias to collect, which is very similar to what happened on Black Friday. But you'll really want to be finishing off this pass because inside, we have Supreme Ascended chests, and you can either get the High Ascended Dragon, High Occult Titan, High Voodoo, High Corrupted Time, High Master Karma, and tons of other stuff. And I've seen quite a lot of people actually getting these golden reward dragons. So I've seen tons of High Voodoo Vampires and High Corrupted Time Dragons already, which is kind of nuts. But we've got all of this stuff to go through today. Of course, with this, it brings a new collection for this as well. It actually lasts 69 days. Well, 70 days, but we're at 69 now. And inside this, you'll see that for collecting the insignias, we've got the minimum chest, we've got this one, which has some rewards in it, but it's okay. And then it's the Supreme Ascended chest, really, that are like the big boy chests. And then, if you manage to collect 250 insignias, which is probably pay to win only, you can get the Scarlet Skill Skin, and 500 Orbs of High Ascended, which is obviously enough to unlock the dragon. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting, a 70-day long event for that, but I suppose for now we need to focus on the big boy event in front of us, which is the Heroic Race. So, I have been through this event a few times already, but it's pretty simple. All that you have to do in this event is go through various laps, and that way you can get your hands on this new heroic dragon. There are also some other dragons on offer, but either you will need to come first in the heroic race, or if you make it to lap 15, you will guarantee the high heroic dragon. So, if your leaderboard is really active, or you think that other people might overtake you, you'll need to hit lap 15 to guarantee this new heroic. But maybe you'll get really lucky and get a super inactive leaderboard, and you only have to make it to like lap 12 or something. That does happen, but the only way to guarantee the heroic 100% is by hitting lap 15. And there are various other good rewards in this, like the mythical egg chest at lap 16, titan egg chest at 19, which I sometimes go for. But what are we actually doing in this event? We have various tasks that we have to do, which for anyone that's had these heroic races before, it's exactly the same thing. But there are quite a lot of tips to go through in relation to this event because there is a lot of stuff that you'll need to know. The first thing that I will say is while you are doing the quests for this heroic race, I do highly recommend that you open up the High Heroic Race Guide either on Ditlep or Deatlist. Deatlist is sometimes more reliable, but some people prefer using the Ditlep option. And essentially, any lap, you can click on the lap option and then see what every single node is going to ask you to do. So like lap 5, we're going to have breeding dragons to do. Then on lap node 2, we're going to have collecting food and collecting gold to do. But the reason that you should keep these open is because it shows you what the cooldown are for each of the items that we've got. So, like it'll show you that for battling dragons here, the minimum amount of time it's going to take is 1 hour and 15 minutes on lap 4 node 2, for example. We're currently on node 3, which is doing league battles, And so if we check the website here, you'll see that there is no cooldown. We just need to get 4 league battles done, which normally you only get 3 league battle fights, but if you are in a situation like me, where we've only got 1 more fight to do, we're gonna get a reset on our energy. So let's go and do that quickly and get this particular node done. Now, there are particular things when going through these heroic races that you will want to take advantage of. Mainly that's the time spin, and you may even want to speed up the final fights on certain nodes, because if you speed up the final battle when we've got the win battles quest, that is the longest out of all of the quests that you'll have to do. And so rather than waiting, say, 6 hours, some of them are like 12 hours for that battle, you can, in fact, just skip it with a few gems. It's not a lot of gems just for the final battle, but the other battles in that node, you will probably have to just, wait the 15 minutes or half an hour between each, and then do them. But we will go through the quests that come up here, because of course we've got these league battles to do, and then we will move on to the other tasks that we have to do for this event. So there we go, we have done our 4 league battles now, so we will claim that, and now we will move on to lap 4, node 4. And so these tasks, we've got get items by feeding dragons and collecting gold. The collecting gold one is pretty obvious. If you've got the gold symbol above your habitats, then you're almost usually going to be given the gold item, but it's not guaranteed every time you collect. And then for the other task that we've got is feeding dragons. And so, one thing about these 2 quests is that you can actually do these easily with the gold collecting quest by having level 1 terra habitats placed. So I've got tons of terra habitats and just tons of habitats in general, so I don't really have to do that anymore. But if you are a newer player in particular, go into your shop, pop down a level 1 terra habitat, and then just fill it with dragons. And that is the easiest way to be able to get that gold collecting quest done. Whenever it fills up, just go over there, click it, there you go, it's finished. And I mean, you can also use Medarian, who got unlocked as well, because he will boost your gold production, but the gold collecting quests are pretty simple in this event. And the other simple quest is this feeding quest, which is get items by feeding dragons, and it's going to be the same sort of concept, and the same with a lot of the tasks, to be honest. Use a level 1 habitat, fill it with dragons, even if they're terra dragons if you need to, but for this feeding task, it's the same thing. We're going to go and get an egg with gold. It's going to be a terra dragon. We're going to wait the 15 seconds for this terra dragon egg to finish hatching, and then we're going to pop it in a habitat. I guess we'll throw it in our new terra habitat that's level 1 for now. And then we're going to feed up this level 1 terra. The reason we do this is so that then we don't waste any food. Well, I say any amount of food going into this dragon is technically a waste, but we need to do it for the actual task. So we're just going to feed up the lowest level dragons that we can. And when the dragon gets to level 15, you can just sell it. You can go ahead, go and buy another one. Nice and simple and easy. But with these 2 quests, you'll notice that we have hit an item limit for how much we can collect, because we weren't going to get any more bugs or these beetles from feeding, and we can't collect any more gold at the moment, because no matter how many of these habitats I click on, we're not going to get any more gold, and that's because we've hit the maximum amount of items that we can get for now. So we're going to have to wait for the timer on these 2 quests. And how do you know what the timer is? Well, that's where those websites come in massively handy. Because now we can go back over to Ditlap, we'll go to lap 4, node 4, and we'll see that there is a 1 hour 31 minute timer on feed dragons, and there's a 1 hour 31 minute timer on collect gold, which obviously there's some sort of spelling error. Collect gold. But one thing that you'll notice is that if we go onto the other website, Deetlist, these timers are slightly different. And this is what I was talking about before. Generally, I find Deetlist on average to be slightly more accurate. They're saying 1 hour and 36 minutes, but this one's off by 5 minutes. It's not a huge difference. They're roughly giving you the same numbers, but that's how long, roughly, an hour and 30 to 35 minutes we're going to have to wait before we can finish off lap 4, node 4. So, that is what I do when I play these events, and I've never failed a heroic race so far. Always either gotten to lap 15, beyond lap 15, or come first in these events. So it's definitely doable, but you do have to be logging in frequently to do these, and then like in an hour and 35 minutes, log in then to finish off this node, and then you can move on to lap 4, node 5. And in lap 4, node 5, you'll see that we've got Battle Dragons as a quest, and this is the quest where you could either, say, use your bingo spin, booster spin, because when you use this, you have the opportunity to completely skip a node, or completely skip a quest, or get tons of items, or just a +1 item, which you can see is what I got earlier, and they are best used generally on the battles quest. Like if you've got like 6 battle quests to do, you could use it, or even if you've only got like a couple to go, maybe they just have super long timers and you don't have the gems to spend to speed it up, you can use the booster spin for that. So I would definitely recommend saving these for those winning battles quests, which you'll see on lap 4, node 5. But that final battle, I will almost certainly be skipping, because that's probably got like, I don't know, hour-long wait, something like that on the final one. So yeah, I'm not going to be waiting for those usually. Depends on the gem cost, but normally they're like 3 to 4 gems, if that. But the other task that we've got on lap 4, node 5 is going to be collecting food. And this one is a pain in the butt. I will tell you that in advance, because if we go back to the website, you'll see that each collection has a 10% chance of giving you the item, and 10% doesn't sound horrific, in theory. But when you're actively replanting this food and collecting it, the items don't feel like a 10% drop rate sometimes. Sometimes they'll feel like a 1% drop rate. But the simple way to get this quest done, which is the easiest way, I would say, like, get a second monitor if you play on PC, or do something else at the same time while you're doing this. But what you'll want to do is you'll want to put the shortest food into your farms, which is a 30-second cooldown, and then you collect them, which is pretty easy. You just collect it like that, and then when you've popped all of these into your farms, you can just click regrow all. Or you can also do half of your farms with long food timers, so the next time you come back and have this quest again, you're going to be able to instantly collect the food. But I'd always say at least leave half of your farms with the shortest food, just so that then there's no accidental misclicking, which is very much known to happen. Which, speaking of that, if you do play on both, say, mobile and PC, be aware that the replanting, like the regrow, does not save between mobile and PC. So don't do what I've done before, and when you go to replant, don't be in PC mindset and accidentally plant a bunch of piranha plants, which is very, very much possible. But like I said, it's a 10% chance, so you'll just have to keep doing this, and you'll see the items come up, and you'll be able to check the item count that you're up to in the heroic race. So that is how you do the food collecting quest. Now, the other annoying tasks that we have now that permanent speed up happy hour is gone for the majority of players is we are going to have the breeding and hatching quests, which doesn't look like there's any on lap 4, but if we go to lap 5, we've got lap 5 node 1, breed dragons, and we're going to have to do that 6 times, and there is a 10% chance when using, say, Terra plus Terra. Now, this is going to be the same thing. While 10% doesn't sound too bad in theory, in practice, it is horrific. And like earlier, I needed just one single item, and it took like 35 attempts of Terra plus Terra breeding just to get one successful item. So even though that looks like 6, that's barely any. That can take 20 minutes if we're doing Terra plus Terra if you get unlucky. Or you may get super lucky and actually successfully get the item every single time you breed. So this is how you do the breeding quest. Terra plus Terra. That is the only way to avoid clogging up your breeding dens during this event. So I'd highly recommend that you leave at least one of your breeding dens free at all times, and just doing Terra plus Terra breeding in it. If you've got multiple dens open because like you just don't want to risk screwing up the event, you could just do Terra plus Terra breeding in all 3 of your dens, and then just, you know, I did put these 2 in just to see if I would get the new egg, and I have, of course, because I used empowered terrors. So don't use empowered terrors, use non-empowered terrors if you're going to go for breeding, but that's in that other sanctuary anyway, so I didn't mind too much. We've still got these 2 breeding dens down here that we can use for breeding tasks, but I may end up using both of them with just Terra plus Terra in both. Now, the other task that we have is hatching dragons, which is going to be similar to the feeding dragon quest, but we are going to do the same thing. You're going to get Terra dragon eggs, you're going to buy them with gold, pop them in there, wait 15 seconds, and then you're going to place them, and then the moment you click place in a habitat is where you will roll to see if you're going to get that item drop or not. So you do have to place the dragon in the habitat to have a chance of you getting the hatching dragon item. So please, do not go buy your Terra egg and then finish the hatching and then just sell it, because that will not count towards the quest. That would be a big waste of time. But same thing as the breeding quest, the hatching quest can take forever because same sort of drops. Hatching eggs, you'll see 10% drops, and on lap 6 node 3 you can collect 3 items, but only 2 of them at once, and then you'll have to wait an hour and then do it again in an hour's time. So having to wait like an hour just to do one more hatch can be really annoying, but that's why these websites are so important to use while you're going through this event, because without knowing what the pools are and what the cooldowns are, you're gonna have a much worse time in this event. So, I believe that is pretty much all of the tasks, realistically, that we have in this event. You know, breeding dragons, hatching dragons, league battles, regular battles, collecting food. You know, they're all pretty self-explanatory in what they actually are, but you've got to be logging in when those nodes are finished and when the items are ready. If you're not logging in, like, when your items are done, or, like, ready to collect some more items, for example, you're gonna end up falling behind in this event. So, this is an event that requires a lot of logging in. It's an event that requires the use of other resources like I've just shown you. But ultimately, what you want to achieve in this event is up to you. I mean, if you do want to take part in the Heroic Quest Empowerment quest after this Heroic Race is done, you will have to have either come first or second, realistically, to be able to take part, because you'll need the legendary and you'll need the epic from this event as well to take part in that, and that's how you get empowerment on these new Heroic Race heroics quite easily. I mean, it's going to cost you gems and it's going to cost you a lot of food, but, you know, if you do want to add high heroic to your team and you want to get him empowered, you'll have to take part in those events, which means you need him and the other dragons from this event. That is a general, I guess, the general gist of how this event works and the various tasks in this event. But of course, if you do need any other help, then we do have my Discord server, which, you know, has guides on this and will always be available to give you any help or advice that you need. So feel free to ask in there if you're confused about anything. But that is the Heroic Race side of this. I don't think there's anything really any different from this Heroic Race compared to normal. Of course, we can get orbs for the Heroic, and we've also got the skin for the Heroic, which doesn't look that different. I'm not really a fan. I like skins that really change the colours, but this one's a bit bleh, to be honest. So that is the major event that is happening at the moment. We will be getting other mini events coming, and those mini events that are going to be coming on, we will be able to get event items from them. So the Heroic Origins event, for example, we have Fenrir plushes, which could give us gems and stuff. We could get some more Heroic Joker orbs and a flame chest, which is not that interesting. Then we've got some perks here. And then we have some Heroic Jokers and some Legendary Jokers if we get all of these items, which are going to be available through the month. But I think out of all of these collections, the one that everyone is most interested in, of course, is going to be the Descent of the Supreme. And getting all of these Ascended insignias, you know, it's going to be a lot of grinding, but these rewards can be absolutely nuts. I mean, even the basic chest here, you've got the chance of getting like 5 insignias, 20 gems, you've got chance of getting orbs for the various different Ascended dragons, so if one day you do want to summon them, it's going to take you a bit closer. There's breeding perks in here, which I know a lot of people are after, so you'll be wanting to open up a lot of these insignia chests. But I guess while we are here, I will also note about, no, not the rescues, that was a misclick. I do also want to note about this Ascended Return quest. I've been getting a lot of differing information as to the requirements for this event, because you'll see that at level 1 it says level 15. I've been seeing people say that you need to empower this dragon to even get to Ascended Return level 2. I don't know 100% if that is true or not at this point, because if you want to take part in this, you do have to have that Ascended dragon already unlocked, and the rewards for this are an okay amount of insignias. Like there's a times 20, a times 10, and then we've got another 10 here. It's like just over 30-ish that we've got. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, actually it's close to 40 something. So 40 something of these Ascended insignias, of course, is going to give you enough to get your first Supreme Ascended chest, and then you can open up quite a few of the others as well. So if you want to do a lot of random rolling, that is the way that you could do that in theory. But the dragon himself, he is over here in the Ascended offer, and he costs 400 gems. So that is 400 gems plus a single insignia, which is not very giving from them. But Ascended Praetor is the current one. I don't know if they're going to have more of these quests later on for the other Ascended dragons. It's very possible. But you can just buy this dragon outright with gems. So what you do is you buy him with gems, and then you go over and you take part in his Ascended Return quest. But while I don't know exactly what the requirements are, because like if the level requirements are insane, and like if you actually do have to empower this dragon, like this is undoable for a lot of players, but I don't know how accurate that is. So I'm gonna wait a little bit until we get more people that do gem for this dragon and do these quests and actually confirm it, and like confirm it from a reliable source. It's just right now, if you try and check what the requirements are, like level 1 it says level 15, but then there's no levels for any of the others, which is kind of concerning because the event is already out. But I guess we've got time because this quest does last 13 days, 19 hours from now. So we've got like 14 days basically to get this dragon and get his quest done. So I'm not going to rush. I probably would recommend the same just in case, rather than accidentally wasting 400 gems and then not being able to do the quest anyway. But very, very tempting with all of those insignias. I guess the last thing that we really should be doing then, with all of that, is actually claiming the rewards from our Divine Pass. So let's claim all of the rewards that we've got so far, because we will be able to open our first Ascended chest, and then, of course, at the end we've got that Supreme Ascended chest for getting 770 points, but this does end in 13 days' time, but it should be very easily doable. I mean, if we go through our goals, do your daily goals, do your weekly goals, and then you should have this Divine Pass done in like no time at all. So let's claim these. We're going to claim all of these things. Lovely, lovely. That is wonderful. And I assume that they have been thrown into our inventory. Wrong place. Let's go by chests, items. No, did that not work? I guess it worked here. We can at least open these up, right? So let's open our insignia chests for the first time. What are we gonna get? Times 5. That's pretty good. That's okay. I guess we get to re-roll basically. It's kind of pointless, but it does add to our insignia count, so it's technically not a waste. It just feels like a waste. You'll see that we're mostly just getting, not a lot out of these so far. What are we getting out of this one? 5 trade essence. So, Nothing insane, like super insane so far, but of course if we've got 70 days, is 250 insignias doable? Well, I guess we shall find out, but you know, I did claim these, and it's showing up as to be claimed still, like it was showing up as times 7 still. So have they just disappeared now? Where are my items? They should be somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll come up when I restart the game, but I guess that is another bug with their collect all stuff, which I did think had the possibility of happening, but like, where is this chest? I don't know. I have no idea where that's gone. It's disappeared. It's gone into the void. Sure, it'll be there when I reopen up. But anyway, that is all of the current major event stuff that is going on at the moment. Again, if you do need any other tips about the heroic race itself, please let me know. But you just need to log in and do those tasks. And even if they may be annoying, if you can guarantee the dragon at lap 15, or you might not even need to get to lap 15, you can get your hands on this new heroic. And so I don't really want to fail this one, since I haven't failed one so far free to play. So this one shouldn't be any different. It should be exactly the same as all the other races, but I guess we shall find out in time. But anywho, best of luck.